All right, guys, welcome back to Camping with the Confers. Today we're going to talk about a very controversial subject in the Confer household. We are here at our Sticks and Bricks this weekend. Our daughter's home from college. I had to do an oil change on the truck to get it ready to go for a big trip this week. So Shelley K comes up with a great idea. She says, why don't you show everybody all the tools that you drag around with you? If you guys are regular viewers of ours, you know that we're always arguing about tools, not really arguing, but messing with each other about all of my tools that I carry. So I got done with the oil change. I had half of my tools out anyway to do that. So I figured I might as well clean out the truck, clean out the toolbox, get everything organized for the season. And I'm gonna break it down to you guys what we carry with us all the time. We're gonna try to break it into sections like electrical and plumbing and mechanical, stuff like that. So I'm gonna set up a little table here in the driveway at our Sticks and Bricks, show you guys what all I got packed in the toolbox of this truck. I'll put some links in the description box down below if there's any of these things that you guys think you might want to drag along with you. So stick in there with us. Let me show you what all we got in the truck. Let's get started. All right, so what we're gonna start with is our electrical stuff. So you will notice that I carry a lot of these bags around with me. This one's red. I picked red because, you know, electricity, red, why not? So when I started pulling the stuff out of the bag, I realized how much crap was actually in that bag that didn't need to be. Just junk, busted zip ties, you know, wire nuts that had busted out of the boxes and stuff. So I straightened all that stuff up and really got it condensed down to a pretty small amount of stuff that you need to have with you. So let's hit this stuff real quick and we'll move on. So we're gonna start out with wire nuts. You never have enough wire nuts. You need some of every shape, size. You know, I got the pinchy ones, I got the twist on ones, everything you need, all in a Ziploc bag. I got a connectors that you can hook up new switches, stuff like that with. Got a couple jumper wires built in here on stuff that I use. You know, we had to use a set of these when our switch on our landing gear broke. New switch for inside the, inside on the panel, for if that ever blows out. This is for the truck. This little widget pops your panels and stuff loose inside the truck if you need to run wires for like our dash cam stuff. Just some wire dikes, some cutters, some crimpers, wire strippers, an insulated Phillips screwdriver, and the ever coveted, always need to have it, multimeter. So make sure you have that with you. Some wire electrical tape. This one just happens to be green. I got all kinds of different colors of it. And fuses. I got fuses for the truck, fuses for the camper. You know, every size, every amp, everything that you can think of is all in this Ziploc bag. I got a couple of extra outlets just in case we need to replace an outlet in the trailer. A little bit of wire. A little bit of wire for our solar panels in case I need to do anything. And an extra set of battery terminals just in case. You never do know. I don't know where I picked them up, but I got them. All this stuff goes in the electrical bag. So when we have an electrical issue, I know which bag to grab. I don't have to bust out all the tools. So that's electrical in a nutshell. All right, guys, so the next section is going to be plumbing. Again, I've got one of these yellow bags. This one's yellow. Most of my bags are yellow. This one has the letter P on it. So at a glance, I can tell that this is the plumbing bag if I've got a plumbing issue. So to start out, I went ahead and laid everything out. I still had a bunch of junk in this bag I didn't need just over the years. So it's a good chance to get everything cleaned out. So we'll start up here at this end. I just have a random bag of like a P-trap for the underside of your sink. Everything that you need in case you get a leak under there. This little widget right here is all of the connections to the backside of your Nautilus system. So if you get a leak in the back of your Nautilus system, some of the parts are missing because I've had to use them, but that's what this is. These are the wrenches to get your stinky slinky apart in case you need those. Sometimes they'll get a little tight and you can't get them apart. If you've never used a water bandit or never seen a water bandit, this thing is worth its weight in gold. So this is the water bandit. It is just a rubber widget that has a garden hose fitting on the end. And there's little rubber threads up in here in case the threads are screwed up on the spigot where you're getting water. This thing will save your bacon if you got bad threads, for sure. These are all just bushings and stuff for the inside of your garden hose for all of those leaks that you're going to get with some screens. Propane regulator, just in case we need it. This was a spare that we had, so I threw it in the bag. This is the save a drop. It tells you how many gallons of water you've run through your hose if you're filling up your tanks. I use this guy a good bit to hook up to the air compressor if we need to blow out the water lines, if we're going to be somewhere cold. This just screws into your inlet for your city water. This chuck goes on to your air compressor. You got an on and off valve right here, blows out all your water lines if you're going to get a cold snap. Just use these guys to fill up our water bladder. You never go anywhere without one of these here splitters. These little splitters will save you too, to turn one spigot into two. A pipe wrench, some crescent wrench, rubber gloves, hose clamps just in case. These are PEX connectors. This is my PEX kit with my crimpers and cutters and everything inside of it in case you need to fix a PEX connection. A supply line, just some quick disconnect garden hose fittings with shutoffs. They come in super handy sometimes when you're hooking stuff up. And just hookups, connectors. I got 90s, I got splices, I got some shark bites. Everything in this Ziploc bag for your PEX line. You know, you run into a spot where you need a T, anything like that. And this little widget is something I got to keep on hand all the time, because this is what changes out the filters in our Blue Technologies water filter system, which if you haven't seen that thing yet, it's coming soon. We just got it installed. It's been amazing for the last couple of weeks. But this is what you use to change out the filters. So that is, oh, and did I mention PEX? You need PEX. You're gonna break water lines. So I got a little bit of red, I got a little bit of blue. I just keep them in the toolbox just in case I need it. So that is plumbing in a nutshell. So let's move on to whatever comes up next. I don't know which bag I'm gonna grab next out of the truck. All right, guys, next up is fasteners. So again, yellow work bag, got the big F on the front of it for fasteners. So if I know I'm looking for something, that's the bag to grab. So just a quick rundown in here. We got random bag of screws, random bag of nuts and bolts, some screws here, random washers and lock washers, bolts, some bungees to tie down your tarps and awning, stuff like that. Duct tape and duct tape. Know the difference. They are completely different. Duct tape and duct tape. And Gorilla tape just in case. Zip ties, you always need zip ties, guys. Whenever anything's hanging low and it shouldn't be, a zip tie is probably gonna fix it. So carry different zip ties with you. We have a grommet kit for our tarps and stuff. If the awning, anything like that busts loose, we can put a grommet in there, keep that thing held together. MC4 connectors for our solar system in case any of those go bad. Connectors for our battery terminals. You know, you never know when you're going to get a short or something like that. So I always just keep extras of those. Some concrete tap cons, a little bit of chain for our signs and stuff that we put out. And yeah, again, more washers and more screws. When you're driving down the road, these things are going through an earthquake and a hurricane all the time, right? So stuff backs out, screws come loose, screws shear off. Have a little bit of, you know, some 1-inch screws, some 1¼ screws, even some 2-inch screws. Just know how thick your walls are so you don't run a screw all the way through your wall. But have stuff to fix your stuff. Comes in handy. The duct tape, you know. When your air conditioner and furnace, it gets pretty inefficient anyway. You got little cracks in there, fill those in with the duct tape and you'll get better flow. And duct tape, you never know when you're going to need duct tape. And hang on just a second. Here's one more thing for me to add to the fastener bag is this little roller and this Eternabond tape. So this Eternabond tape can be a lifesaver if you get a hole in your roof, you grab a branch, something like that. This stuff sticks like crazy. It never hurts to have a little bit of it on hand. This is probably, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 feet left on this roll, but that's going in the bag as well. So that's our fasteners. Move on to the next one. All right, guys, this next one's gonna be a big one price-wise, but not such a big one piece-wise. So we're gonna call this one mechanical. So stuff that we use to work on the mechanics of the truck and the trailer. So just some basic hand tools that you're gonna need to work on your stuff, right? So we have just a regular Craftsman, I think it's a 200-piece socket set, a little bit of everything in there. A set of pliers, a couple of sets of vice grips. You know, it never hurts to have a crescent wrench on hand. A Phillips and a flathead screwdriver, always handy to have. Get yourself, and I've mentioned this old girl in a couple of videos, get yourself a good grease gun. I'm actually out of grease right now, which is why I carry a spare tube of grease too, so that can go in there. We talked about the torque wrench. You gotta make sure that your lugs and stuff are torqued to the right specifications on your trailer and on your truck, or you're gonna have problems. Get yourself a good torque wrench. With the torque specs comes your air pressure. Truck and trailer, both as important. I'd say trailer more important. Get yourself a good air chuck. We use this digital one. I showed it to you in a couple of videos in the past. And again, we'll put links to all this stuff down in the description box. I carry a rubber mallet. I like a rubber mallet. They come in super handy. Got a white side and a black side so you don't mar stuff up. And you can use that while pressing your bearings and stuff in if you need to. I have this whole bearing pressing kit for your bearing race and seals. So when you have a bearing and a race and seal go out on your trailer, I've got everything I need to get that fixed right here in this handy dandy kit. Back to air pressure. We carry around this Vi-Air air compressor. It just got little alligator clips that hooks up to right to your battery terminals. This thing is a pig. She does get warm, but she'll pump up the tires on your truck and trailer like it's nobody's business. We carry a set of jumper cables with us, just in case. You never do know when you're gonna need jumper cables. And then this big pig right here, I carry a 20-ton jack. We carry this little short fat bottle jack that fits underneath the axles of our trailer. Super handy little widget to have. And in the back of the truck, in the summertime, I always keep a bottle of this diesel clean treatment. This one's actually empty. I need to go get a new bottle because it's just now coming summertime to keep my injectors clean. And this one gets put back in the garage for the winter because winter time's over. This is the same thing but with an anti-gel in it for winter time. And then I always carry an extra, well, we got about a half a gallon left of our Doc's diesel 5W40 motor oil to put in the truck. So in a nutshell, that's the mechanical tools we have. Let me get this stuff all cleaned up and we'll show you guys some of the hand tools and power tools that we carry with us to make stuff a little bit easier. So last but not least, here are all of my hand tools that I carry in the toolbox with me. Again, is it a lot of stuff? Yes, but everything here I have used multiple times. So when Shelley K gives me trash, I just got to pull up a video where I've had to fix something. So let's hit these real quick. All pretty self-explanatory. You can use this stuff for multiple applications. I keep a 1/2-inch drive impact wrench drill on the truck all the time for the tires of the truck, the tires on the trailer, all the big stuff. This thing is a beast. Craftsman makes it 20 volt. It'll take loose just about anything you got. And then I have a set of Bosch cordless drills. One drill, one in a little impact. Super handy. I use this one probably every single week. I'm using this one for something. And the drill came with it as part of the kit. I just don't use it nearly as often. I do have a charger at the house, and I have a charger for those at the campground, and I have one in the camper itself, so I always have a charger with me regardless of where I'm at. Same for the impact, because we have other tools that run on this 20 volt as well. A set of drill bits. You always need a set of drill bits. Just got this set, so it's actually brand new except for one. Notice none of them are missing or broken yet. That's because I just got that one. Here's the old one with just bits and pieces left over. So that one's getting put away just for spare parts. Here are all of my screw tips, everything from Torx to number 1, number 2 Phillips, and all the square heads, everything that you need, all jammed into that mess. Some bigger drill bits. I have everything from an inch all the way down to a 1/16 of an inch for drill bits that I carry with me. Staple gun, screwdrivers, 2 Phillips, 2 flatheads, full size anyway. Keep those in the bag because you never know when you're going to need them. I also have these wee little baby flathead and Phillips for when the stems on our glasses and stuff get loose. I can get those tightened up. And then these are actually my dad's. Before he had passed away, he always had these wee little nub flathead and Phillips. And I always made fun of him, like, what are you ever going to use those things for? I use them all the time. These things are super handy. Just a regular old framing hammer, keep one in the truck. A tape measure, I actually had 3 of these in the truck, just realized it, so I took it down to 1. I got 1 light bulb left in this kit for the taillights of the trailer. Scraper, never know when you're going to need it. Flathead screwdriver, some Allen wrenches, I got 2 different sets. I keep an extension cord in the truck. You never know, Shelley K's going to want her lights plugged in. So I use this all the time. In the wintertime, I use it to plug in the truck from the camper up to the heater on the truck so it can stay plugged in. Set of with snips, metal snips, so I can cut through metal if I need to. Different pliers. These are my brushes to clean out my air conditioning system. So when I tear the air conditioner apart, which I got to do this week before we take off to go down south, make sure that my AC is nice and clean. And these guys right here. So this is an easy out kit. I don't know if you guys have ever used an easy out kit, but I am notorious for breaking bolts. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I'm always breaking bolts. I carry this thing with me all the time. You snap a bolt, you find the size of easy out that fits that bolt. There's a corresponding drill bit in the back that goes with the easy out in the front. You drill a hole in your broken bolt, you put the easy out in your drill it down through the hole, it brings out the broken bolt. I've used these things a bazillion times. If you don't have a set on the truck, I recommend go down to the description box, find the link to this thing, and go pick up a set. They're not expensive, they'll save your bacon. And that's pretty much it on the hand tools. All right guys, hopefully this was helpful for you. These are all the tools that I carry with me in the truck to work on the truck and the trailer while we're out on the road. I know it's a bunch of stuff, but there's not a thing here that I have not used to keep us on the road. So if you're looking for any of these, like I said, go down to the description box. We'll leave links for all this stuff down there. See you guys out on the road. Keep your adventures going. We'll see you next week.